Welcome to Real Estate Coaching Radio, starring award-winning real estate coaches and #1 international best-selling authors, Tim and Julie Harris. This is the #1 daily radio show for realtors looking for a no BS, authentic, real-time coaching experience. What's really working in today's market, how to generate more leads, make more money, and have more time for what you love in your life. And now your hosts, Tim and Julie Harris.
Welcome back. Today's topic is how to crush your real estate goals with 4 unstoppable daily routines. I'm going to tell you what I like best about this podcast today.
What's that?
We're not talking about exclusive buyer agency.
Yay! And now for something completely different and refreshing.
That's right. We're giving ourselves a little break from talking about exclusive buyer agency. If you're tuning in today wanting to know more about all the changes that are, going to be coming to your market soon because of the new laws with regards to exclusive buyer agency, listen to the droves of past podcasts we have done. We have over 5,000 past podcasts, and I bet on that particular topic, just in the last month, maybe 2 months, we probably have 10, 15. So scripts, objection handlers, all the rest of it. And they're all laying the groundwork for a new designation that we're going to be releasing sometime soon called Ethical Real Estate Professional. And what this is going to be is we believe it's going to be the state-of-the-art designation that all agents are going to want to have. And it is a to Z complete business system as pertains to buyer agency. And what do I mean by that? Well, scripts, objection handlers, lead generation. You're going to have a very robust presentation. All the questions and the issues that all of you are starting to experience in your marketplaces because these changes in the rules, well, we've solved for all of them. So in other words, when you're sitting in front of a prospective buyer, and this is a great buyer, you definitely want to work with this buyer, and then you are having to ask them to sign this exclusive contract where they're going to obligate themselves to pay you. I mean, they're not going to sign it. I mean, the change of behavior that we're asking from the public is just really profound because for generations, like 100 years, buyers haven't had to obligate themselves to sign a buyer agency contract. And now all of a sudden, they are. And you think that behavior is just going to change from the perspective of the consumer? It's not. So what you're going to have to do, because you legally have to get it signed now, is you're going to have to actually show them why they would want to sign exclusively with you versus, say, for example, someone else you're competing with. So you're going to want to learn more about that. The program is coming available soon. We are in the midst of creating a lot of additional content for it, and that is going to be something you want to be part of. Text the word buyer, B-U-Y-E-R, to 47372. Text the word buyer, B-U-Y-E-R, to 47372. And when you do, you'll be on the wait list. And then what's going to happen is when we're ready to start opening the doors to the program, everyone's going to get a text letting them know, essentially the doors are open. And the first 100 agents that join right away are going to be, the doors after 100 are going to, virtually be locked because this is a new program, B, there's a lot to it, and C, Julie and I are coaching it ourselves. So for 30 days, you're going to get a call per week of Julie and I coaching you on how to use the Ethical Real Estate Professional designation. And this is going to be something that's going to solve a lot of problems. So if you're an individual agent and a team or a broker, and you're now starting to realize how profound some of these changes are going to be in your marketplace and consumer expectations, and frankly, your pocketbook, this is going to be something you want to be part of. Definitely text the word buyer, B-U-Y-E-R, to 47372 and do it right away.
All right, so back to our 4 daily routines for you, our listeners, real estate agents. We're diving into practical strategies designed to maximize your productivity, strengthen your client relationships, and help you achieve your goals, again, in real estate. Excuse me. By incorporating these routines into your daily practice, you'll create a powerful accumulation effect that accelerates your journey to success. And as a real estate agent, your success isn't just about skills and expertise, though, of course, hopefully you just listened to what Tim said, we're helping you with that too. It's also about the daily habits and the routines that you cultivate. In our podcast, we're going to explore 4 essential daily routines that can elevate your performance, drive your growth, and position you for long-term success in today's challenging market. These routines, from starting your day with intention to consistently nurturing client connections, are designed to help you optimize your time, leverage your strengths, and unlock your full potential as a real estate professional. And the best part, every one of our listeners, all of you, can implement all of these routines.
Now, if you want today's notes and all the notes from all of our past podcasts and future podcasts, you have to be a daily Harris Real Estate Daily newsletter subscriber. So just go to harrisrealestatedaily.com. harrisrealestatedaily.com is our daily newsletter where all of the notes and all of our past podcasts and additionally to that, there's more content that we're publishing just for our newsletter subscribers. The newsletter is free. Takes you 2 seconds to become a member. Just go to harrisrealestatedaily.com. Julie, point number 1, morning momentum.
That's right. Habit number 1, routine number 1, morning momentum. Start your day with purpose by implementing a morning routine that sets the tone for your success. This begins by resisting the urge to hit the snooze button, establishing a consistent start time, and planning your day the night before. So kick off your morning with mindfulness practices like meditation or visualization to focus your mind and energize your spirit. Review your goals, your appointments, and jot down at least 3 specific achievements you will accomplish today. Always start with the end in mind and prioritize activities that drive dollar productivity, such as securing a price reduction, meeting a buyer for a buyer presentation, or scheduling a new listing appointment. Avoid getting caught up in tasks that start with the word tweaking, as they rarely contribute to your bottom line. And of course, this is all under the same point, morning momentum. Do engage in some kind of physical activity to boost your energy levels and prepare yourself for the day ahead. Whether it's hitting the gym, attending a fitness class, or joining a neighborhood walk, getting your body moving will set a positive tone for the rest of the day.
Now, the great news with Julie's point is that you can really have a fantastic day every day. A fantastic day doesn't have to be dependent on your emotions, interest rates, or politics. It can be, essentially drilled down to, as Julie just said, 3 to 5 points, and she just gave you one of the top ones, is some form of exercising every day, showing gratitude every day, meditating or praying every day, making sure you're generating at least X number of leads every day, those types of things. We talk a lot about that in our Premier Coaching Program, but the essence of it is if there's 3 to 5 things you should be doing every day, you're going to want to maybe make, like, your real estate treasure map is your fill-in-the-blank business plan. It, in essence, is the number of listings you need at all times to meet or exceed your financial goals. So many of you are going to be able to have a magic number of 5. That means that every single day you have to make at least a minimum of 5 actual proactive, contacts to decision-making adults in order to hit or exceed your goals. Now, we're going to talk about that more in point number 3. But what I'm here to tell you is a great day starts with basically keeping things super simple and drill down on the things that are going to get you the most results. And half of it is mindset, and the other half is the actual actions that you take. Now, when you're trying to decide what those actions are, you're going to want to do things that put you in direct contact with decision-making adults about buying or selling real estate, ideally selling, and even more so, they're going to be doing a transaction with you in 90 days or less, 60 days or less, 30 days or less, even better. So just keep these types of things in mind. And if you have that sense of urgency every single day, combined with the other things, even if the day doesn't go great, the accumulation effect, the momentum, the positive momentum you build from doing those 3 to 5 things every single day really pays off. Julie, point number 2, you call client connection.
Yes, that's right. So maintaining regular contact, not just panicked contact when you're out of leads, maintaining regular contact with clients is essential for building strong, lasting relationships. So make it a daily habit to reach out via, of course, phone calls, pick up the phone, talk into it, handwritten notes, or personalized messages to show your commitment to their needs. You can use social media strategically to enhance your conversations and deepen your connections. But again, social media by itself isn't enough to maintain those relationships.
That shouldn't be a secret to anybody, but it's the proactive direct contacts, voice to voice or belly to belly, and then you enhance it with social media. Social media will not replace the importance of having real conversations. When you want to know how to if your social media is just blah or your marketing is just blah as far as the results that you get, add in proactive lead generation contacts, and your social media actually makes it stronger. So like when Julie and I were selling real estate, we would do proactive lead generation, but if it was a market that we were, say, for example, mailing our homes magazine to, or direct mail postcards, or had just done a big bunch of open houses, the Harris Tour of Homes or whatever, and then there was a new expired or for sale by owner that we were calling on, they had an immediate sense of connection to us that made the appointment setting and the pre-qualifying much easier because we already showed up as an influencer or somebody that was authoritative in that particular market. So the social media and the marketing in general definitely enhances the proactive lead generation. But if you have to do one, proactive lead generation is what you should focus on because it'll get your results a lot faster.
Well, so what does that mean? For example, set a goal and achieve it to meet with at least 2 people from your database each week for coffee, lunch, or brunch. Position yourself as a connector in your community, offering valuable insights and market updates to keep clients informed and engaged. And of course, always ask how you can be of service and inquire whom do they know who could benefit from your expertise in buying or selling real estate. Additionally, consider offering a free updated market analysis, that's your CMA, or a guide to investing in your area to further establish yourself as a trusted advisor. Now, that's in the point number 2, client connection. That is the lightest, easiest, inexpensive thing that 100% of you listening can do. At least 2 people, and you ask them to invite 2 of their friends, expand your center of influence, and talk about real estate. We teach you what to say and how to say it in those meetings as part of Premier Coaching. But that leads us to being even more proactive. So I think of talking to your past clients, your center of influence, your database, as sort of like taking your vitamins in real estate. You want to do it every day. You want to do 2 or 3, contacts and, outreaches.
Contacts every day. And because here's the interesting statistic, as Julie has her tea. According to National Association of Realtors, once you've been in the business for 5 years, I believe the number was 63% of all your business is going to come from centers of influence and past clients. Now, when you're getting started and you don't have a center of influence and past clients that's made up primarily of real estate contacts, that doesn't mean you don't have centers of influence and past clients. Like if you grow up with and you have friends and you go to church and you play pickleball and you do all these other things. So start making a list of all the people that you come in contact with on a regular basis. Julie and I used to get great leads from the gal that managed the local Starbucks. So there's so many great places that you can get build your own center of influence and past clients. Now, if you're new in a town, if you just, plop down in the middle of, someplace you've never lived before, you have no contacts, you have no family, it's going to be a lot more work for you, but it's not insurmountable. Just be yourself doing what you like to do around other people that like to do the same thing. Go to the dog park. There's just so many different social connective things you can do nowadays offline, right? Let's use pickleball as another example. Go to a gym. You can start building centers of influence and past clients lists really, really fast. If you're yourself, like Julie had a coaching client who loved to play golf and he was never going to do any proactive lead generation other than centers of influence and past clients. He would call them, he would talk to them. And so he would love to play golf. And so what she had him do was play more golf with different people. And guess what happened? His business took off, right? Because he was being himself around people who also shared the same passion and hobby. And it definitely was easy for him to have, effortless conversations about real estate. Do the same thing.
That's right. Do more of what's already working for you and do it more consistently with a greater variety of people. Okay, so point number 3, a daily diet of proactive lead generation. And remember, lead generation is the lifeblood of your real estate business. So it must be a non-negotiable part of your daily routine. Without consistent lead generation, your business will eventually stagnate. So dedicate specific time each day to prospecting activities. Yes, I said the word prospecting. I used it. Consistent engagement with potential clients will expand your sphere of influence and generate new leads. Determine the minimum number of daily contacts necessary to drive appointments and help you reach your goals. Our recommendation is as follows, and you can modify with your coach in Premier or Elite Coaching, but here's a great place to start. This is on a daily basis, guys, business days. Minimum contacts, let's start with 10 daily. For example, and let's define that. A contact is a conversation with a decision-making adult about real estate. Voicemail doesn't count, though you should leave messages, otherwise they won't know you were trying to reach them.
Well, any form of digital does not count. So
right.
For all of you looking for the gray area, it's a call or it's meeting with someone in person where you're actually looking at them, right? It's one of those two things. And if you want to do the digital stuff, do it as an enhancement or to reinforce the proactive lead generation, not to replace.
Very good point. Okay, so you can break the ice by speaking to 5 people from your database. Remember our previous point, using the Ford pattern that you learned in Premier Coaching. That's talking about family, occupation, recreation, and dreams.
In other words, when you meet somebody, or let's just say you're really socially awkward, it's frankly very normal for people to be socially awkward nowadays because so much is done online. But you're going to go to some place where you're going to meet other people, and you're not going to really know how to talk to them or make connections with them or make it so that they want to talk with you again, let alone maybe send you referrals. This is a sort of a dyed-in-the-wool conversational pattern that works. When you're meeting with someone, talk about family first. Don't talk about your family. Ask about their family. How long have you lived here? Do you have family here? How many, all those types of things. And people will talk about their families, especially if they have large families, forever. Ask them questions. Don't play conversational ping pong with them where you think you're going to have to then talk about yourself. Everyone's favorite topic is themselves. So ask them questions. Get them to talk about their families. Now, if that aspect of the conversation starts to wane, which frankly it rarely does, then move on and talk about occupation. Occupation would be what they do or what their husband or wife does or whatever, those types of things. And then after that, move to recreation. Now, if you're meeting somebody at the gym or, again, playing pickleball, you're all of a sudden going to discover that that's going to be a very easy conversation for you to talk more about recreation. But remember, everyone's favorite topic is always talking about themselves. So don't get stuck in essentially the black hole of talking about yourself, because they won't remember you, and they won't, frankly, remember the conversation. If they remember at all, very favorably. They will love you if you spend a majority of the conversation asking them questions and showing sincere interest in them. Again, I don't think most people talk about themselves incessantly. Incessantly, thank you. I need more coffee. Because they are egotistical. I think it's because they feel obligated to. Because, again, it's like conversational ping pong ball, right? You tell me about you, I tell you about me, and back and forth, back and forth. And you think that it's rude not to talk about yourself. Well, switch that, around to it's rude to talk about yourself. And it's impolite not to ask them questions and then, more questions about whatever they say. Then when they see you, next time they see you, they're going to remember that you showed sincere interest in them, and they're going to be drawn to you like a magnet. So I want you to keep all that in mind. It's truly a powerful thing. And the D in Ford, by the way, is dreams. And very rarely when in conversation will you ever get to dreams. But, Ford, family, occupation, recreation, dreams, family and occupation will usually occupy most of any conversations. And you can form long-term relationships just by getting to know people around their families and what they do for a living. You will find enough in common that you'll be able to spin that off into a long-term relationship quite easily.
Yes, and it's easier than you think. I mean, as you were talking, I was thinking about you running into our friend Nick at the gym yesterday. You had a textbook Ford conversation with him without even really realizing it, because you and I are so used to doing this. You talked about family. You talked about occupation, recreation. You guys were doing all kinds of different gym stuff, showing each other things.
I'm definitely not working out with him again.
I know.
But
you also talked about real estate is my point,
did.
right? It came up organically.
And we don't sell real estate. He actually asked me if we sell real estate here, and I'm like, no. Yeah. I said, we just pay attention. And the truth is we can't. Like, if Julie and I are in any market for more than 15 minutes, we are on Zillow or Realtor.com. We're getting to know the market.
Studying that, yep.
So we can't help ourselves.
Yeah, but it came up organically. It wasn't a weird conversation.
Well,
so some of these guys listening make it too hard.
And just along those lines, I found out that he had a lot of misinformation about some things that were going on in the market that I knew were wrong.
Naturally.
And it's because someone was trying to basically bend him to a particular neighborhood that did not have a particular benefit that he was told that it did. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm talking about?
I do.
So, yeah, and I by telling him the correct information, then obviously, that has
value.
That has value to him, right? Yeah. I could have saved him a lot of money.
Exactly.
So in any event, yes, just remember that. If you feel socially awkward when talking with people, just remember the golden rule. Ask people questions about themselves. Avoid talking about yourself. Get it to the point where if you find yourself talking about yourself, that it's very cringy to you. And so just focus on the other person, and they will love you forever, because everyone's favorite topic is themselves, forever and ever and ever. If you don't believe me, get to know Zoe. She'll tell you all about herself endlessly.
Exactly. Okay, so remember, we're talking about proactive lead generation on a daily basis, and you've so far made it to about 5 contacts. Next, contact any fresh, expired, withdrawns, or temporarily off-the-market sellers. 3 minimum daily. All of you have at least 3 minimum daily. Yeah, you might have to search another zip code in another county, but you have a minimum of 3 a day.
So of those, obviously there's for sale by owners, and then we teach them 20 different, right. So of all that, if you had to choose one proactive source of lead generation, what would it be?
Definitely expireds.
Yeah, I would do expireds too.
I mean, I would do the previous point, which is always talking to your database and just get used to that and be efficient at it. But I would never end a day without looking at the fresh expireds. And when you do that every day, you end up with a lot of expired lead follow-up too. People that just were taking a break or they had some circumstance and you circle back to them. When you do that every day, it's not like this big daunting task where, oh my gosh, I got to go out and I got to get the expired list and I got to talk myself into it. You just talk to the fresh ones every day and create some lead follow-up going forward, and you will be taking listings consistently. And why do I choose expireds? Because I like for sale by owners as well, because the phone number's there and they clearly have a house to sell. But I like expired slightly more because they've already shown a willingness to list, and you have something to go on, like their pictures in the MLS, the price that they tried, some feedback.
What the price isn't, probably.
Probably.
Again, they have a propensity to list.
Yep.
So you've moved past some of the big objections, what you might have with the seller who's FSBOing, where they're not necessarily going to be in agreement about the price, or maybe they have some mooring lines with regards to paying a commission or whatever. And I agree with you on the expireds. And the expired, the house has already been market tested, and the seller is a little bit maybe brought back down to earth a little bit, less aspirational seller pricing, aka overpricing. So yeah, but I would 100% do expireds, and I'll tell you what I would do. So you guys are all thinking, I want to call expireds. I get it. I would too. But you want to know where to get the information on what expireds are there in your marketplace? Text the word RED, R-E-D, to 47372, R-E-D to 47372. One of our sponsors of the podcast is RedX, and when you text that RED to 47372, we'll text you back a link, and with that link, you can join RedX, and it's a $150 discount. So what does RedX do? They go into your MLS, they go into your market, and they find all the new expireds. You can also get old expireds from them too, and they'll get you the phone numbers, they'll get you the listing information, so that when you sit down to make your contacts to expireds, they also have for sale by owners, by the way, but expireds are what we're talking about. When you sit down to call the expireds, you're going to have those expireds right in front of you. You're going to have all their phone numbers in front of you. You're going to use our exclusive script, and you're going to start calling those folks. And you're going to find, frankly, that you will wish you would have been doing it. If you started doing it years ago and you stopped, you're going to kick yourself because you're going to realize how easy it is. Because what's happened in the last 10 years, maybe even 15 years, is the agents, most of the new agents in the industry, haven't ever learned how to do proactive lead generation. They've all been beaten over the head with branding and marketing and advertising and all these other things. So we're missing like a whole generation of expired hunters that were, frankly, would have been your competitors over 10 years ago. So when you start actually calling expireds, not mailing them, not stalking them on social, but calling them, you're going to find that oftentimes, you were believing that they were getting a lot of other solicitations from other agents, but they actually weren't. They're not getting any calls, let alone somebody who's going to be extra bold and go knock on the door, right? Those expireds, when you follow our script, you'll discover that a lot of them are going to relist, and they were going to just relist with their previous agent because they didn't know another real estate agent, believe it or not. And that is almost always your biggest competitor. But your biggest competitor is the incumbent who failed. So now you obviously know what path to go on when you're talking with a prospective seller about why they should list with you. By making the call, by using our script, by following our 7-step listing process, for every 10 contacts you make with expired listings, it might take you maybe 60 to 90 days of doing this work consistently, making, say, for example, 5 contacts or 10 contacts to expireds a day. But for every 10 contacts that you make, you're going to start, I think, realistically, some of them are going to relist with the old agent. Some of them are going to change their mind. But you're probably looking at 3 or 4 different new seller listings for you. If you do this consistently, get good at the scripts, get good at the, all the objection handling. It's really not that much. And then once you're good at expireds, actually FSBOs are a lot easier because the FSBO process is virtually the same, but then you'll have some cash flow momentum. And that's without buying leads, guys.
Yep.
That's without paying referral fees. That's without worrying about your website or your brand or your logo. That's just by doing the real work of real estate. I hope and pray that all of you take what I just said seriously, because in a market that's like the one we're experiencing now, expireds and many of these super hot, if you're in Austin, Texas, and you're not calling expireds, what the hell are you thinking, honestly?
Yeah.
I mean, we pay attention to the expireds in Austin because we have rentals there. If you're in any of these major markets that were super hot markets before that are now becoming balanced markets, let alone buyers markets, go into your MLS. This is my assignment for all of you. Go into the MLS and search how many expireds there were in the last, go back 6 months, go back 12 months, and you are going to be blown away. It's not going to be a couple. It's going to be thousands and
They'll
thousands.
break the MLS. Just go back like 90 days.
Okay, that's fine. Go back 90 days. Even there's no expire. Yeah, bull, there aren't. Go back 90 days in your MLS, and don't just, do a tiny little search area. Do the entire MLS, all area codes, all everything. I want you to see the amount of opportunity that's out there, that's surrounding you constantly. Every single morning when you wake up, RedX can send you the list of new expireds in the area that you want to focus on. Make sure you're focusing on a large enough area. Then you call, you use our scripts, you start setting appointments, you pre-qualify the sellers, you send the pre-listing pack, you present on the listing and you present at the appointment, you take the listing, you sell the listing. That's the process. Not hard.
And also, you don't need 50 million of them.
No.
You only, look, if you only list and sell one per month, that's worth 100 to 200 grand. Some of you, it's worth more to you than that.
I feel
that's a minimum.
Expireds are one of our favorite topics, but I'm gonna have to stop myself because I'm ready to point number 4. But I am going to give you some advanced tips here. The best day or the best time of year to call expireds are going to be where there's the weekend, the end of the month or the beginning of the month fall over a weekend. So, for example, the 31st is on Saturday and the 1st is on Monday or Sunday, right? Those are the best days to call because most agents aren't going to call. But your extra great time to call is any time where the beginning of the month and the end of the month days fall over a holiday or a holiday week. Why? Because most brokers set their listings to expire at the end of the month or the beginning of the following month. I don't know why they do that. You shouldn't do that. That's silly. And a lot of them think, well, I'll have my listing to expire on holidays. That way I'll remember them, or because I know other agents aren't calling on the holidays. That's actually kind of smart. If you haven't set your listing to expire on Christmas, that's kind of, that way you have time to talk with the seller and get that listed again, as a listing agent. But the reality of it is the end of the month, the beginning of the month, over holiday weeks are almost always the best times to call expireds because your competitors aren't calling and because everyone's at home and generally speaking, they're in good moods, right? That's what you do if you want to be serious about real estate, especially this time of year, because you can build tremendous momentum going into next year. So text the word RED, R-E-D, to 47372. Don't waste time trying to find the expireds yourself and the phone numbers and all the rest of it in your local MLS. It's almost impossible. RedX gets cell phone numbers, which everyone is using nowadays instead of hard lines.
That's right. Okay, now related to that, we mentioned for sale by owners, unrepresented owners. We did an entire podcast series about for sale by owners. Make sure you're talking to those in the zip codes that you work. There usually aren't tons of them, but there's enough for you to, every one of you listening, talk to at least 1 to 2 per day and then do all of your for sale by owner follow-up as well. Next, again, we're working on your 10 contacts. Complete 100% of your lead follow-up contacts, striving to move those prospects forward with showing appointments or listing appointments. Your job is to do this routine daily on work days, not just when you feel panicked and leadless, not when you lost a deal and it went sideways. Do this every day and you won't have the ups and downs that you experience.
Well, here's where people really go wrong. Yes, will only do the real work of real estate when they're in panic mode.
Yep.
But yeah, do the real work of real estate when you're being incredibly successful, because you will be 1,000 times more effective doing proactive lead generation when you've got a bunch of closings and pendings, because your life isn't dependent on whether that expired listing that you're talking to right now is going to allow you to go over there and present a listing presentation. You're almost like you're more comfortable and confident because you're financially more comfortable and confident. And that makes you 100% more powerful when you're calling people. They can feel and hear the fear in your voice when you're desperate. So the best time to make money is when you're making money. Don't stop working because you're too busy, servicing your transactions. You want to dial it up when you have that level of confidence, because it really will bring you more success.
Very well said. And related to this point, of course, you'll want to use a great CRM system to track your leads, follow up with prospects, and manage your pipeline efficiently. If you're not confident in your CRM skills, invest time in a tutorial to figure it out. Some of you guys have had them. You've got these apps, you've got stuff that you've been paying for, but you don't know how to use it. So make sure that you get in there and do the tutorial. Now, in addition to that, keep your whiteboards updated like we teach you in Premier Coaching. I know that all of our Harris Certified coaches talk about the whiteboards every day in the daily coaching. My private coaching clients, my elite clients, send me a snapshot picture of that visual whiteboard. We know you can keep spreadsheets. We know you can keep your CRM up to date, but it's also important to have that visual. And we've done podcasts on why that is.
So they want to have our expired scripts, objection handlers. They want to know what the real estate treasure map is. They want to know essentially what the whiteboard system looks like. They want to have access to all of this. And I'm going to give you a fantastic news. You can, for free. I want you to join Premier Coaching right now. You can just go to premiercoaching.com or text the word Premier to 47372. Either way, it's going to get you as a member of Premier Coaching. And you have 30 days full access to Premier Coaching. Make sure you log in right away and you go to the Harris Learning Portal, and then you start realizing all the amazing things that we're giving you for the first 30 days. 30 days is a long time to give someone access to their coaching program, especially considering we're giving you daily semi-private coaching calls. Why are we doing that? Because we know many of you desperately need the information that's in that first level so you can actually become more successful if you're already successful, or you can really launch into being successful. So just go to premiercoaching.com or text the word Premier to 47372. And if I did not make it clear, yes, that does include all the content on our first level to 12 level program. And it also includes a daily semi-private coaching call with a Harris certified coach. All right, Julie, point number 4, habit number 4, end of day reflection and planning.
That's right. So conclude each day with a reflective session to evaluate your progress and identify areas for improvement. Ask yourself, what did you do well? What could you have done better? What worked and what didn't work? My coaching clients keep a journal, and they turn that into reporting back on their coaching calls and coming with questions. Because, 3 days after a listing appointment where something maybe went sideways or maybe something went really well, you kind of forget what happened. So keep a journal about that.
Well, you're bringing up another interesting part. Some of you are going on listing appointments because you're coaching clients of ours for the first time. And it's very difficult to be objective about what went well and what didn't go well. And so what Julie just said is gold. Make sure after you go on a listing appointment, you write down what didn't go well first. And be super honest. Were you late? Were you early? Did you take your shoes off when you went to the door? Did you go on a tour? Did you follow the Sharpie close process? Did you send the pre-listing pack? Did you confirm that they reviewed it? Did you completely pre-qualify them? Did you do all the things? Did you know what the seller thought the house was worth prior to going on the appointment? Did you know if you were competing with another agent? And if you were, did you schedule yourself to go in last? There's so many details that we teach you in Premier Coaching. But you got to be honest with yourself. If you're not following the system as we have designed it, as it's proven to work in all price ranges and all market conditions, not just in the United States, but around the world, and you're not experiencing the levels of success that you should be, it's your damn fault. So be honest with yourself, admit where you're slacking, and then stop slacking. The process works because the process has proven itself to work. Don't try to change it.
That's right. But be introspective, be reflective. It helps me and us as coaches so much to hear what happened on those appointments. It's usually something from the 7-step listing process. It usually is didn't pre-qualify, or oftentimes you didn't ask one of the key questions that's in the pre-qualification script, whether all decision makers will be there. Maybe the mistake was you weren't even talking to the right person, but everything else went well.
Did you park in the driveway? Did you all these things?
I had a coaching client tell me that she 100% lost it because she wore the wrong outfit and sweat and was uncomfortable and stayed there too long and didn't remember to close.
Now, why do we want you to write down the things that didn't go well? Because there's a lot that comes on the other side of basically being super honest where you screwed up. There's nothing that really comes on the other side of giving yourself a pat on the back and saying you did a good job, especially when you didn't take the listing. But I'll suggest to you, even when you do take the listing, do go through the exercise of debriefing with yourself and writing down what you didn't do well. But it's ultimate responsibility. We talked on the podcast yesterday. It's high agency versus low agency. A high agency person is not going to spend a lot of time seeking praise or giving themselves praise. They're just always going to look for ways to improve.
Yes, and by the way, some of you will identify that and you'll take it back to your office manager or broker and they'll say, oh, that's okay. You're only supposed to take 50% of your appointments anyway. That's not helpful. That's not coaching. That's not training. If you want to be doing better, and think of all the time that you spend, especially before a listing appointment and now before a buyer appointment, you need to get the signature if you spent all the time in doing all of the things. And if you're not, allow us to help you. We can't help you if you're not introspective.
You're not sitting, and if you follow our system, you're not sitting in front of a seller. You will not be going on listing appointments where the seller doesn't absolutely have to sell, where they're not actually motivated, where you don't know their time frame. If you don't know, you don't go is one of our mantras, basically. If you don't know exactly the answers to all the pre-qualifying questions, and if you haven't sent the pre-listing pack, your threat vectors, in other words, your chances of failure, go through the roof. Our process is designed the way it's worked, the way it is designed because it works. So please, when you join Premier Coaching, just go to premiercoaching.com or text the word Premier to 47372. Just follow the system, follow the plan. Don't try to improve it or change it or edit it or make it shorter or make it longer. Just do exactly the way we present it to you. That way you can experience success right away. We have new agents that join Premier Coaching, brand new agents. Let's just be honest. You shouldn't be taking any listings, let alone experiencing the grizzled veteran agents in their marketplaces, but they are because they follow the system. It's not hard. Just follow the system and you will discover that being successful in real estate, if anything, after a while, gets kind of boring because it's the same thing over and over and over again. That is the goal.
That's right.
Boring businesses are almost always the most profitable.
Exactly. Okay, so back to your end of day reflection. We talked about reflecting on your appointments, but also assess your productivity and your time management, pinpointing any inefficiencies or distractions that may have impacted your performance. Use this insight to set intentions and priorities for the following day, establishing a clear roadmap for success. Remember, if you don't have any appointments scheduled for the next day, spend 80%, 90%, maybe 100% of your time generating new business. Refer to previous point number 3. Incorporate a gratitude journal into your routine to acknowledge and appreciate the positive aspects of your day. This practice fosters a mindset of abundance and resilience, fueling your motivation even in the face of challenges. So remember that success means doing what you want to do when you want to do it, with whom you want to do it with. But to achieve that, you must first do what you don't want to do when you don't want to do it, at the highest level and consistently. So unlock your full potential and achieve lasting success through consistent daily actions. That's what today's podcast has been about. And remember, your Harris certified coaches are here to help you literally every day.
All right. So tomorrow we're doing an interview with someone from our EXP family. You guys are going to love listening to James Buckley as we talk about, he was a small independent broker that joined our EXP family with us. And he talked about his transition from being independent to now being part of EXP and how it's actually worked out in so many different ways for him. And so we're going to be, talking about that, talking about real estate trends and what he does for lead generation, all the rest of it. But in the meantime, please do consider giving us a 5-star review over on iTunes. And when you do, please also give us a little pithy comment, why the podcast is meaningful for you, why it's beneficial for you, why you appreciate it, and how we're, helping you. Because really, iTunes is the gateway for us to expand our podcast listenership. It's the most important platform because really our podcast, this is, from what we're told, the #1 daily podcast for real estate agents in the United States. I mean, tens of thousands of you end up listening to these podcasts between the podcasts, all the different channels, and then of course on YouTube. Sometimes it's more like 20,000. That means the world to us. It tells us we're on the right path. Please do consider giving us a 5-star review on iTunes and a little pithy comment why the podcast is helping you. In the meantime, have a fantastic day, and we will happily talk with you on the show tomorrow.
This podcast is a part of the C-Suite Radio Network. For more top business podcasts, visit c-suiteradio.com.